Weiland is an artist in the underground music scene who is praised for his music and his influence on the subgenre of plug, and he has most recently been in the spotlight as a result of the drastic change in the trajectory of his style, going from his plug sound, which he was once very well known for, to doing a complete 360 and creating music which is now not close to being paralleled anywhere else in the underground music scene. Gavin Weiland grew up in Tampa, Florida, starting his music career with a style which incorporated melodic-infused plug. His consistent release of songs demonstrated a clear and signature style which would lead to him gaining a loyal cult-like fan base. Weiland was known at the time for his flashy videos, thrillers, his cover art featuring Eiichi Onizuka from the 90s anime and manga Great Teacher Onizuka. However, more than anything, his catchy and amazing music is what gained the attention of most. From this, Weiland had created a sound and aesthetic which would help him attain a presence in the underground. Weiland first broke into the underground after he released his first EP, Insomnia, in 2016. Here we could see the raw and early signs of Weiland's talent, with the song Xanax Queen giving Weiland some buzz in the SoundCloud scene. In 2017, after releasing his first album, Pack Runner, Weiland further cemented his spot in the underground. This album consisted of 16 tracks, with the majority of the production being done by Zangang, a well-known producer in the plug scene. Weiland claiming his influences on the album to be Chief Keef and the Glow Gang era as a whole. After the release of his album Pack Runner, Weiland would tease music on his Twitter and upload small snippets from all of the songs on his Grimy Youth mixtape. And finally, in May of 2018, Weiland released his mixtape and third project, Grimy Youth. Soon after the release of his Grimy Youth mixtape, Weiland would look to increase his popularity and began to gain mainstream traction online after he started to pull stunts, such as having an auto-tune implant, being the so-called first rapper with a pair of tits, and cloning himself, as well as posting pictures with RPGs and other guns. Weiland would also host a talent show on Instagram Live, in which his fans could come on and display their talents, which would lead to more viral moments and thus bring more attention to Weiland. But why did he go through all of these lengths? Weiland would often use these stunts as a chance to break into the mainstream, and stated in his 2021 interview with Kids Take Over that he would use these methods to promote his own music. For example, in these viral videos, tracks would often subtly play in the background to interest viewers into listening to his music. The auto-tune video playing My Type, one of my favourite songs by Weiland, in the background. This is how I first heard about Weiland. At first I just thought that he was a clout demon, because Instagram was saturated with this style of promo at the time. However, this was not the case, and after listening to his music I realised he was special, and that became even more clear with time, with Weiland's discography further developing. Weiland released 2 singles in 2020, leading up to the release of his self-titled album, which released under the Universal Music Group and Victor Victor Worldwide. Later in the year, Weiland released his debut self-titled album in November 2020. This is where initial signs of Weiland's shift in genre and style could be noticed, as this album used a more diverse range of sounds, exemplifying the talent and ability Weiland had. The previous style which Weiland had, not only musically but visually, whilst being loved by his fanbase, was not pleasing Weiland to make anymore, as he had been doing this for over 4 years now, and he knew that the longevity of this genre and the facade in his viral videos he would use to gain traction could not last forever. Therefore, Weiland decided to adopt a different style, applying more of a synthy and electronic sound, which Weiland showed snippets of in Instagram lives and posts. Snippets such as Summer Love and my personal favourites, Racks and Save Me, showing an almost unrecognisable sound for Weiland, with Weiland attempting to break out of his comfort zone and make the music he stated that he had always wanted to make. Weiland said in an interview that in the past his priorities were all wrong, and that he shouldn't have focused so hard on money and following the algorithm to get rich as fast as possible, and that he realised he can just be himself and do what he wants to do. Originally, the Vices album was supposed to drop in December 2020, only a month after his self-titled album. However, this was not the case. Soon after, Weiland linked up with the legendary producer Mike Dean and also worked alongside Fish, who Weiland describes as becoming almost like a brother during the creation of Vices, Fish having a vital contribution in the production of Vices. Leading up to the rollout of the album, Weiland released 2 singles in late 2021, Heartstop and Blaming Myself. with Weiland expressing himself in an extremely vulnerable state which we had never seen from him before, Weiland giving us insight to his own flaws and problems. Finally, after long anticipation and many tweaks and changes, Weiland released his long-awaited album Vices in April of 2022. This album lacked many of the snippets which he had previewed beforehand over the past 2 years. However, the album spoke for itself and showed a vulnerable and more realistic side to Weiland, contrasting with the eccentric and flashy rapper we were fond of only a couple years of before. It goes without saying, the self-growth seen in Weiland is incomparable, and this change has unsurprisingly divided some of Weiland's fanbase, as there is a distinct difference between the music he makes now and the music he once made. Some people speculate whether this is a consequence of him signing to Victor Victor, and suggest that Victor and his team are trying to make Weiland mainstream, both sonically and visually, in order to profit off of his new music, and make him more appealing to a broader range of people. However, in my opinion, this is definitely not the case. I believe that Weiland's changing of genre not only demonstrates the increasing maturity of Weiland, but also his awareness that the music he was creating had a significant impact on himself, as associating himself with guns, drugs and crimes such as scamming was not sustainable, and making this jump into his authentic self and releasing a body of work which encapsulates the struggles of mental health, drugs and relationships shows a huge step in the right direction for Weiland and the personal growth he has been throughout his career.